Students, we are here to study economics and the second chapter, that is people as resource. Students, in the last classes we have already studied how Sakal, by acquiring education and acquiring the vocational training, he has equipped himself financially strong, and he has acquired a better potential for his family to earn a better livelihood. Students, he was able to live a good life, and he was able to give a better life to his family and his family members to only because that he was equipped with the education. Students, we know that whatever hard work that we do in the initial years, that bore fruits at the end of your life. Till the end of your life, you just taking out fruits. You are just eating the fruits. That means whatever hard work that Sakal has done in the initial years of his life, he has took the education, he has acquired the vocational training, higher education, got the better job. So in the initial years of his life, he was working hard, and with the help of education, with the vocational training in the computers, has brought fruits to his family. That means he has started helping in the country's development. His development means country's development. So students, we know that there are the education and skill really plays an important role, and this we are going to study in this topic, that is people as a resource. We have already studied how the education that is equipped of with the Sakal, and Sakal has made the best use of his education, and he got the higher education and got the potential skill, productive skill, and with that he was able to earn a better livelihood. So there is no comparison of education with the other parameters. So students, education really plays a very important role and a vital role in everybody's life. In today's world, if a person is not educated, so he is not regarded with respect and dignity. So students, education is very important in everybody's life. If person is uneducated, he is considered a liable population, not an asset. Unhealthy population is a liable population, not the asset. So uneducated and unhealthy persons are liability for the country, and they can do only the meager, they can only earn the meager income. They cannot have a better life, they cannot have a quality life. So to get a quality life, a person has to be educated. This is already proved by Sakal's example. We have already seen students, the new opportunities and the new aspirations, new demands, new wants really provides an opportunities for the people. If a person is educated, he may have a plenty of opportunities available to him, and which is going to lead to the economic development of a country and the growth of a country. So education really plays a very crucial role in the economic growth of a country and even society. To govern the country and to govern their life with the efficiency, we can say that education is a vital factor which is very important in everybody's life. If a person is educated, he can earn his livelihood in a better way, in a better condition. Students, You can see that education enhances the literacy level and skill level of a person. It also provides and it also helps in enriching the culture of a society. Presence of educated person in the society indirectly benefits the illiterate persons also. If a person, if there are 20% educated people living in a village, living in a rural area, people are really benefited with them. People are really, they use the knowledge that is acquired by those people. So that means it really helps in the development of a culture, of a society culture, wherever the educated person is living. So the educated person are always helpful for the people, directly or indirectly. People would be benefited with the educated person. Illiterate persons can get so many help from the person who has acquired and who is equipped with the education. Government has taken various steps to spread the education among the people. Government is taking so many initiatives, taking so many steps, and started so many measures and policy so that they can make the population of country, population of India, an educated people. Government strives working hard. Government is working hard to provide universal access to the education. It also makes various plans to increase the retention of students. Special emphasis is given on the girl child. You can see that government is trying hard. Government is started so many measures. Government is taking so many steps. Government has made different plans so that there has to be an universalization of the education. That means everybody, universal adult franchise. That is, everybody should vote who all are above the 18 of years of age. Adult suffrage, you know it. Same manner, the government wants that everybody in the country should be educated, should be literate, and this will, and to make everybody motivate and to encourage the people that they should acquire the knowledge, they should acquire the education, they should go to the schools and they should study, and the people should send their children to the schools. For that, the government is trying hard to attract the students so that they can come to the school. For that, government has done so many measures. Government has given so many motivational factors, so many motivational plans the government has made so that the children or the parents who are not sending their children to the school, they should also send, and they should also get attracted towards the schools and the education. They should also provide education to their children. For that, government has taken many steps. Government want that there has to be retention in the strength of the people or the strength of the children. Suppose the 50 children have come to the school and they are acquiring, parents have sent these 50 students, they want that this 50 students should not walk out. They should remain, they should acquire the education, and more number of the children should add in the school. Nobody should leave the education or the levels or the classes. They should not drop out from the school. And for that also, to retain them, that at least these many students should study in the school. For that also, many of the attractions are given by the government, especially the girl childs. We have seen that these parents are not sending their girl child to the schools. You know that there is a discrimination between the girl and the boy. Whenever, if their pocket allows, if they have a money, if their pocket allows to teach the child to teach their teach their children, and they really wanted to send their children to acquire education. If they have two children, one is boy, one is girl, then they will always prefer to send their boy child to the school rather than sending the girl child to the school. So we have seen that the people who are uneducated, they always try that at least their boy child should study and acquire education. So to that discrimination, the discrimination that the families they do, the people that they do, that is between the male and female. So government want that at least there has to be a universalization of education in different parts of India. You can see that what the government has made, different provisions are made for universal access and retention of the quality of elementary education. At least the children should study and acquire education. They should be literate, they should be educated at least to the higher section of the studies. They should do it so that they can acquire a better potential, and there will not be literacy rate should be improved in the country. So there is also an establishment of the pace setting of school. There are many areas are there where the schools are not there. The government has set up the different schools like Navodaya Vidyalayas in each district. Government has set up the different schools where you can see that all facilities are provided. All facilities are provided free of cost to the students. Everything from the uniform and books and food and every day-to-day things that they need. They need soap, they need shoe, they need hair oil, and everything. You can see that even the brush and paste, everything, all the things that they need to spend during that particular time, the government is providing them. That is the Navodaya schools. In the Navodaya schools are established almost in each district of the different states. And the government provide all the facility, even the residential facilities are also provided to them. They don't have to go back to their homes. They don't go back to their homes and they reside there only. Hostel facilities are also given in the Navodayas. And you can see that vocational streams have also been developed to equip. Vocational trainings are also given to them. What are the vocational trainings, students? You can see that whenever there is an vacations are there. You know, vacations in June, they have vacations are there. And summer vacations are there, or the winter vacations are there. During that time, the government has opened for that particular time, the government has opened different streams where the people can go, students can go and learn the vocation. They can take the vocational trainings. What all we can see that stitching is taught to them, knitting is taught to them, tailoring is taught to them, and other fashion designing and the other things are taught to them, so that the students can acquire a better knowledge and they are equipped with the vocational trainings. So large number of the school students with occupations related to the knowledge and the skills. The plan that layout that is given to us, you can see that from rupees 151 crores in the first plan was to rupees 4325 and has increased to this much in the 10th plan. You can see that the government is spending so much of rupees in the year. In the first 5-year plan, this much rupees were spent, 150 crores were spent, and now in the 10th plan, this money has increased to, this is the expenses that the government do, this is the expenses or the money that government spends, 43,825, 43 crores. You can see that for this much of rupees, crore of rupees, only 151. Here you can see that how much of the 438 crores of rupees spent on the in the 10th 5-year plan. And you can see the expenditure of percentage has rose to, earlier the government was spending only this much of the money percentage in 1951, has come to, you can see that how 3.98, almost 4% of the government's income. 4% of the government's income is spent on the education of the children. Literacy rates really plays a very important role. If people would be educated, the automatically, directly or indirectly, it is going to affect the development of the country, and the government would develop. The government means the country would develop, economy would develop. So literacy rates have to be increased from 18%. You can see that in 1951 it was 18%, and in 2001 this has increased to 65%. You can see the steps the government is doing. This is the only efforts of the government. It's only the planning of the government. It is only the steps of the government that is taken in these many years. You can see that in the last 50 years, the percentage of the literacy rate has increased from 18% population, say, it has come to 65% of the population, literate population in 2001. If we people are going to see the new census, the literacy rate would come further. Literacy is not only a right, it is not only a right, it is a requirement. It is a requirement of today. If any person we call and if we say, okay, you talk and we go in a society, if a person is not able to understand English or is not able to meet and with the people properly, not learned anything, and if we say, okay, he's not studied and he's not educated, he's an illiterate, so that dignity and the respect that he has in the society, that reduces. You can see that education is really important in today's world, in today's time. Education is not only a right, it is a need. It is a need, again I am repeating, it is a need. If the citizens are to perform their duties and they wanted to enjoy their rights properly. What is happening all around, what the government is doing, what are the government wants from the people. If you people are not educated, if people are not literate, it becomes a difficult, it becomes very difficulty for the government as well as for the people to survive in a society where persons are educated. However, vast differences are there noticed between the different sections of the population. If you see the living standard, if you see the lifestyle of a people and conditions of the people, there's a great difference between in the living standard also in literate population and illiterate population. And you can see that literacy among the males is nearly 50% higher than the females. There is always a discrimination. You can see that. What is the role of education in the human capital formation? Education really plays a very important role, and this we have already come across with the example of the Sakkal's story. And Sakkal and Vilas, we have already seen how the Sakkal was equipped with the education and with the higher secondary school and higher education he has acquired, and after attaining the higher education he has got the vocational training in the computers, and due to that vocational training he got the edge over from the other people and he got the best job in the company, and he was able to acquire and was able to showcase his talent for his company and for his firm, and his firm was also benefited with the vocation, the training and the skill that he has, the potential that he has. So you can see that students, if you have acquired the education, if you are educated, you contribute for the growth of the society. Your society would automatically grow. If we are living in a society where everybody is educated, that society is totally different from the people or from the other area, from the illiterate sections of the people. From provision is made quality of elementary education. Quality has to be provided in elementary education with special emphasis on girls. Government is trying that everybody should get the education, and they are giving special emphasis, they are giving special importance for the girl child, for a girl's education, because girls are always deprived of, girls are always devoid of the education, because we are living in such a society where all the girls and boys are not treated equal. And now the government is trying, government is taking efforts that the parents should send their girl child, especially their girl child, to acquire the education. So girl child, this is made specially for the girl childs, and the government is trying hard that their parents should send their girl child for acquiring the education to different schools. Vocational streams help in the different occupations also, and these vocational trainings provide you the better knowledge and the better skill. Better knowledge and better skill. Students, in this context, we have seen that government has launched a mission. Government has started a mission. This mission, you know what mission means? Abhiyan. The government has started a mission that we are going to have universalization of the elementary education. When we talk about the elementary education, the education that is provided till from 6th from 6 years to 14 years of age. That is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, serve everywhere. We should have the educated people. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. You can see that this is the most important step that the government has taken to provide an elementary education. We are not saying that you go and study for higher education and higher education. At least the elementary education, a child should acquire the elementary education so that we can attain 100% literacy rate in the country. If everybody would be educated, if everybody would be literate in the country, then the country's shape would change. The quality of the economy that we are having, that would definitely going to improve. And you can see that this elementary education is from the age from 6 to 14 years by 2010. By 2010, you can see that government has started many bridge courses also. Many bridge courses are also started back to the school campus, back to the area, so that many of the bridge courses are launched by the government, that to initiate more of the enrollment, more of the children would enroll, would come to the school to acquire the elementary education. So bridge courses the government is starting so that they will learn some training, special trainings are given in different fields, in different aspects, on hands-on, different things are taught to them, how to make a pottery, how to make sculptures, how to get a tailoring, and the other trainings are also given to them. These kind of bridge courses are started by the government. Not only that, students, you can see that government has taken initiative. Government has taken an initiative to do the retention of the students, so that whatever students they are already enrolled in the school, they should remain in the attendance. Every day they should come. So for that, government has decided that they are going to provide them midday meal. They are going to give them food also at home. So when we are talking about the midday meal, students, you can say that midday meal scheme is also introduced by the government so that the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan becomes successful in acquiring the elementary education and in giving the elementary education to the entire population of the country and the students between 6 to 14 years of age. This is to improve their nutritional status there are many people are there who are not able to provide their two-time food to their children. So what they are going to feel it, at least if they'll go to the school, they'll get the food and we need to spend less money on the food. Once or twice they can get, if we have 2 children or 5 children at home, if they would go to the school, at least the food will be given to them. So this is a kind of an attraction that the government has given for retaining the students in the different levels of the classes. And in the 10th 5-year plan, you can see students, the increased enrollment of the higher education has also increased. You can see from 18 to 23 years of age, it has been increased. So this particular group has also been benefited in the 10th 5-year plan. Earlier we used to have, you can see that especially the age group from 6 to 14 years it was given, and later in the 10th 5-year plan this enrollment was also made for the higher education also, not only for the elementary education, not only for elementary education, for higher education and 18 to 23 years of age group. And this plan focus on distant education. If there are some students who are not able to go and attend the classes, even the distant classes, see, small children has to go, they cannot study without the teacher or without the help. But there are students of between 18 year to 23 year of age group. These people by working outside, you can see that they have to work outside, they need to earn a livelihood also. The poor section of the people, they want that we have to go for a work. If we will go for studying, how we people are going to earn? So in that case, we have seen that from 18 to 23 years of age, these children or these young children, they are given and provided the distant education also. By sitting at home, they can study, or and any convergence formal programs are also started by the government. So students, literacy rates vary from state to state. You can see that every state has its own education policies. So when we talk about the education policy of the different states, in different parts of the area, almost when we talk about Kerala in terms of education is considered the best. 96% in some district of Kerala to below 30% in some parts of Madhya Pradesh. You can see that in some parts of the Madhya Pradesh, the literacy rate is only 30%, whereas in Kerala, it's 96%. You can see that there is a vast gap, there is a great variation between the literacy rate from one state to the another state. So students, when we talk about the different classes, we have a different levels of the classes. So when we talk about the different levels of the classes, we have a primary school, secondary school, or higher secondary classes. So that also varies from from state to state, and different students, they are in different classes, and their levels are also different. They are proportionally different from one state to the another state. The primary school system has also expanded over 5 lakh villages in India. More than 5 lakh of villages they have expanded primary schools, they have opened up primary schools, and more of the expansion is done, and this is diluted by, these efforts are done by due to the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. You can see that Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is a very important step that is taken by the government for providing the elementary education, especially to the age group of 6 to 14 years. And they have made it compulsion that by 2010 we are going to make everybody enroll with the universalization program. And it is a time bound. Government has decided that within these many years till 2010 we are going to do all this initiative, and this initiative was taken by the with the help of the central government, with the help of the state government. Central government has started this program, initiative taken by the central government, so that they can create the universalization of education in elementary area, elementary education to the students from the age group of 6 to 14 years. And we have seen that even the local government of different states, they are also helping it out. Not only the local government, they are taking the support, community is also supporting them, the society is also supporting to them in achieving the universalization of program of elementary education in the country. Midday meal is also provided to encourage the attendance and the retention of children to improve their nutritional status. There are many people who are not able to get the food, and children are not able to get, to provide them the better nutritional values and status and food to them. The midday meal scheme is an important step that was done by the government, and this was with the help of the central government as well as the state government. And in the state government, local government as well as the community is also helping in spreading the education and in spreading the awareness among the people for sending their children for acquiring the elementary education. You can see that we have already seen this budget 151 crore, and this has already increased in the 10th 5-year of plan. This much of the expenditure earlier in 1951 the government used to make it, which has increased to 3.98 income, the income of the government. Almost you can see that 4% of the government's GDP is spent in elementary education. And due to the constant efforts, government is trying hard every year, every day, with every government, with every state, with every community. They are collaborating with the different government and with the different states in making and achieving this target. To achieve this target, we have already seen that in 1951 we had 18% of the literacy was there, whereas it has increased to 70%. You can see that 2011. In the last slide, in the previous slide, we have seen that in 2001 it was around some other percentage was there. In 2011 it has increased to 70%. You can see that, and in compared to the females also you can see that comparison with the male and female, even the female literacy rate has also increased. Kerala is a state with more than 90% literacy. There is no other state with the 90% literacy. You can see that Kerala has achieved, is in the highest, on the topmost level, this state in acquiring the literacy level in India. While some states have a very low literacy rate, if you go to Bihar, if you go to Orissa, we have a very poor literacy rate, students. You can see the bar graph or a multiple bar graph that is highlighted here. You can see that persons total male and female. Okay, all together it will take the average. White is male and female. Male, female. You can see the comparison. More of the males, they are educated, they are literate. Less. more less. You can see female are always comparatively, they would always be less comparison, and they are not given as freedom in acquiring the education, in getting the education. You can see students, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, that it is a time-bound initiative of the central government with the help of the state government and the local government and with the help of the community. If community is not going to support them, then it cannot be a successful program, it cannot be a successful mission. So it is an abhiyan that the government has started for getting the education. Everybody, every child has a right to education. RTE, every child of a country has a right to education. Education for all. What does it mean? You can see Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is an Hindi phrase, and you can see that education for all. It is elementary education, universalization, access to the education for all the children living in the country. You can see that different सब पढ़ें सब बढ़ें. जब पढ़ेगा इंडिया तभी बढ़ेगा इंडिया. You must have heard about this quote and about the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. So when we are talking about the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, you will see that the government has started from the remotest area, from the most backward area, so that all those wherever we don't have that facilities, we don't have the schools, we don't have the government schools, and they are very far off places, government has spread different institutions to those areas to spread education to the remotest parts of the country. And under this program, see, all children under 6 to 14 years of age are given elementary education. Not only that, student, you need to understand this, it is a free education. Government is up to the age of 14 years, government is providing free education. Government is not charging anything. Free education is provided, and moreover, to retain the strength of the students and of the people who are coming to acquire education, of the children, the government is providing for a motivational factor. As a motivational factor, government is providing the midday meal to them for a better attraction, so that more number of children would come. You can see that government providing a midday meal in government schools, so that children of poor people can attend the school. At least for getting the food they will come, and when they will come for the food, they will study also, they will learn something. Not the 100%, at least 20% learning would be there by the students or by the people. So midday meal is the another effort, another initiative to attract and motivate the students for getting the education. Students, you can see that we have a different this is a page in the 12th 5-year plan. Gross enrollment ratio has increased, and even the higher classes 8 to 23 years of age, it has increased. And we have seen that the more than target was taken as a 30% by 2020-21, which would be broadly in line with the world average. And government is taking different strategy, government is adopting, and different adoption of the program the government is doing, and government is creating the different curriculums, so that, and modification is done in the how to study in the syllabi or in the syllabus. This plan really focus, and not only that, you can see that government is providing the vocationalization and networking on the use of IT, information technology. Government is giving more emphasis, and government is giving more stress in learning the information technology, IT. And not only that, the government is providing to the higher school children, the government is providing a distant education and IT education institutions are opened so that the people learn technology. Children should be equipped with the better technology, equipped with the technology. And in last 50 years we have seen that there is a significant growth in the increase of the universities and institutions and in different schools. Specialized learning is also done by the government in different sectors, and it has been created for the people. You can see that the number of colleges, number of universities, and the students who are getting the education. You can see students from 1951, we had only 750 colleges, and in here you can see that how many colleges, 42,338 colleges. You can see 750 to 42, there is a great number of the colleges have increased. And you can see that how many universities all around in the country. We used to have only 30 universities were there. Students need to go for a higher education in the different states they used to go. And sometime they were not able to go to and attend these universities also due to the lack of financial condition, due to the far off distance. So there was a great many problems. Whereas now we have 795 universities, and you can see that how many students. We have only 2,63,000 people were studying earlier, and you can see the strength today in the year 2016 and 17, and definitely 1920 or in the latest year, this number would have automatically increased a lot. Teachers in universities and the college, only 24,000 in 750 college. Only these many teachers were there. Now you can see that how much it has increased. So students, the government is really taking so much efforts in increasing the literacy rate. Government wants that literacy rate, there has to be a universalized access to the education. So in that context, this Abhiyan, government has aimed in getting the universalization of elementary education, and it is a time-bound manner, and it was given in the mandate of 86th and the amendment of the constitution, making free and compulsory education. I have already told you it's free and compulsory education. It is compulsory for everybody to get the education, and between this year to year, and it has been estimated that 205 million in number has been recorded, and it's a fundamental right. And this program and this Abhiyan or this mission was pioneered by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You can see that there is a great history behind it, and you know that right to education really plays a very important role, and this right to education came into force on 1st April 2010. Some educationists, they have made different policy, and different policy makers, they believe that passing this act would definitely is really necessary, and it is going to acquire the legal force for its implementation. You can see there is a history behind. This program was initiated and would have been it was an intervention program. It came in the operation in 2001, and there was a long history. It was started its roots back in 1993-94. You can see that there's a when district primary education program was launched, they wanted to achieve this universalization of the primary education in different districts, almost 18 districts of the country, and there are 272 districts are covered, 18 state 200 districts are covered, and even the World Bank, including the World Bank, UNICEF and DFID, they all these agencies, international agencies, are also behind the universalization of the program, and 50 million children have covered in this, and they have acquired the elementary education. So this impact is really great and has a great importance. Students, if the government, it is the government to provide all the basic infrastructure. So to get all these basic infrastructure, government has done all the efforts from their side. Now it has become the responsibility of the community and the parents that how they should send their children for the education. It's a free education that the government is providing. It is a compulsory education that the government is providing. So there is no harm and there is no loss in acquiring it when you get the things in free of cost. So you can see that we have different goals. Government has opened many new schools in different areas which do not have them, and to expand the existing schools, infrastructures and the maintenance. Government is providing a grant. Government is providing money to maintain all these different schools, address inadequate teacher number and provided training to them, to the existing teachers. If teachers are not trained, the government has taken the special training programs to train the teachers also, and government has spent a lot of money in training the teachers, provided quality of the elementary education including the life skills with the special focus on the education, and the students are made that they have to be in all-round development. They should be good in sport, they should be in other curricular activity, dance, music, and these speeches, debates. So other core curricular activities are also conducted to focus on the other traits and the interest of the child, and especially the girls child, they are also given a special attention and special needs as in computer education. So students, this is the third assignment related to the education, and Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Complete it and send it to me. Okay. Thank you students. Till then, bye.